My predictions in the group of death, beginning with Dortmund at Newcastle. I will go with a Newcastle victory. Uh, if I wrote the script and I couldn't rig the group of death any better, Dortmund would win, and Milan and PSG would end the draw. So Dortmund has 4 points, Newcastle has 4 points, PSG has 4 points, and then Milan with 3 points after three draws. If you can't script it any better, then Dortmund would win. Now, what leaves me concerned is that Newcastle's next Premier League match is against Wolves, and where's Newcastle for the season? Uh, oh, there it is. Newcastle, if they do lose against Dortmund, it'd be 2 draws and 4 losses. Wolves is going to 24 now. It is possible that they can beat Dortmund and then lose their next Premier League match against Wolves. So that is still possible. But if Newcastle score first, they have 5 goals and 1 allowed in the Champions League. Magpies come out to 51 now. Their last match was against PSG. PSG is 42. So if Newcastle concede first, then that kind of explains why. But I'll probably, what complicates it even more is that Newcastle can hand Dortmund their 58th Champions League loss all time, and it is Newcastle United that has Gamacho 58. So there is a possibility that Newcastle get the victory away at Germany. Now, when I go to Newcastle this year, um, they could have 8 wins and 3 losses after beating the German team, because Germany is Gamacho 83, football is Gamacho 83. So it would make sense if Newcastle do get the win. PSG and Milan. I do like a Milan draw in this match. The two teams draw the next match over at Milan at San Siro. This one at Paris. It's Parigi Francia in Italian Gematria. That's Gematria 112. And it's Stefano Pioli that's going for his 112th victory as a manager. 3 matches and 3 draws. The Milan is the Devil. Diavolo is Gematria 33. And PSG, let's see. Three matches and 4 points, a lot like Magpies having Gematria 34. From that standpoint, the last match against Newcastle, then their next match can easily end in the draw. So that remains very interesting when I look at it that way. From the looks of it, is Newcastle, are they really gonna just cruise their way to the Champions League, or is this gonna be a dramatic ending in Group Match 6? Supposedly Newcastle could lose at Germany and then lose at PSG, and they need to get a result against Milan, or who knows if Newcastle and Milan, these two teams draw, and then they're both in the knockout. So that is a possibility. So I may go with Newcastle for the win, and then now Aiden Terzic, his goal differential can be plus 58 with the loss against Newcastle United. So by losing this game, it would force a must-win at Germany. Dortmund could have 3 matches played and 0 wins after a loss against Newcastle, because it's Newcastle that's Gematria of 30. So I'll go Newcastle. If you can't rig it any better, you have Dortmund win and PSG and Milan draw. But I'll go for Newcastle win. Is Newcastle gonna gonna win the Champions League, yada yada yada. These kind of things are gonna come up after the game. So, and I'll go with the draw there. And 2023, Milan in 2023, PSG is gonna be part of the explanation. So they do get a draw this game. So three draws and two losses. AC Milano is Gematria 32. Now on the PSG side, this one is if they do lose, 6 wins, 3 losses. The match is at Paris. It's Paris. That's Camacho 63. So this is pretty much how I'm leading heavily strong towards a Milan result. Now, all time in Europe, they could lose their 67th game against. Their 67th loss could happen at Italy against Milan. It's Italy. That's Camacho 22 in 67 in simple Gematria. So that would be, let's see, Newcastle. Okay. Is Borussia, that's Gematria 32, Borussia Dortmund, Borussia Mönchengladbach, whatever you want to say. Newcastle is going for their 32nd loss against Borussia Dortmund, at Borussia, at the Dortmund. So that is interesting. Now, other Champions League matches, let's just look at the Champions League table quickly. Inter should have no problems. They should have 3 goals scored and 1 allowed. They lost the final to Man City last year. Man City is 31. The final is at Wembley. This is at the San Siro. It's handling business against Salzburg. 7 points in 3 matches. Losing the final to Manchester City. Manchester City FC is Gematria 73. Barcelona gonna get another win. Let me go to Benfica quickly. It's Benfica. That's Gematria 40. 4 points on top of the table. 0 for Benfica. To me, I think this is going to be a game that Benfica are going to win. 3 matches, 1 win for Sociedad. Benfica is Gematria 40 and 31. Where do I see it on here? Let me type it in on top. Benfica is Gematria 40 and 31. The Portuguese side should be able to get their first win in this campaign, in that game. Okay, Lazio, Atletico Madrid, Lazio and Feyenoord. Probably a very defensive setup for Lazio against Feyenoord. This is a game that I think Lazio are going to defend their position in the table, and they should be able to get a result if they're able to scrap by a point against Atletico Madrid. So I think Lazio will get a result. Feyenoord is really good. They made it uh, to the semifinal of the Europa, and they made it to the Conference League. Napoli against Union Berlin. I think there should be no problems. Napoli for the win. SSA Napoli is Camacho 36. 3 matches, 6 points for Napoli. They got the defeat against Real Madrid, but then Napoli responded against Union Berlin. They suffered a shocking defeat against Braga. They're going to get knocked out. Napoli's going to get the victory. Uh, Napoli will have 2 wins and a loss after playing the Whites, Blancos, it's Camacho 21. So there should be no problems for Napoli in their Champions League game. Arsenal, they're going to get the win. Now, I think it's a Arsene that's 62 and Queen that's Camacho 62. You know, this would be a return match to Spain for Arteta. 6 goals and 2 allowed. What has me room for concern, if I remember correctly, City of Seville is Camacho 63. If the match does end the draw, it would be, well, 6 goals and 3 allowed, but then 6 points in 3 matches. Arsenal, Sergio Ramos is a tough player. Sevilla, if they allow their first goal, if they allow the first goal, the game would have 3 goals and 4 allowed. Arsenal FC is 34. Gunners is 35 too. Yeah, Arsenal the deeper side. Arsenal should be able to win, but for Sevilla, it's not the end of the world. They can still beat Lens and PSV. I'll go Arsenal.